Let's see. Notifications. Okay. Yay! I can see myself. Okay. Let me get rid of this. Okay, I'll just give it a minute to see if anybody is going to show. Oh, okay, cool. So, anybody that's there? Not yet. Uh, so I have been watching lots of videos, and this week, for the last couple of days, I've been trying to get everything set up for um, my video this week. But I was trying to do the ManyCam, so which would allow me to, you could see me like this, and then I can turn the camera down. Which everybody that does these videos, it always looks like so easy. It probably is, but not for me because I'm just not technical. So anyway, you can see my messy studio while I wait to see if anybody is going to go live with me. If you're there, say something. And but anyway, so I if you could see this, let's see if I can make it zoom. I could do that. I know there's a way. Okay, so let's see if I could make it zoom a little bit. Okay, so you could kind of see over here behind me. There's it's an old screen door that I found at a yard sale place, and so I cleaned it up, painted it, and then so I've been putting my cards, some of my cards that I'm doing on it, because I thought it'd be kind of cool as a background instead of just looking at my wall. So that's what I've been doing. That's not what I want. Okay, here we go. We go back to normal. Anyway, there's so many different settings, so you can see me. So tonight we're going to switch over to we're going to do a card. Actually, we've done this last week. If you watched my video last week, or you watched it when it was playback, I did a card. I did this card actually, not this card, but I did a card that was. Let me see if I could get it. I can show you. Yeah. I did something like this one, and so I used paper, and I used a whole sheet of paper, and then I just randomly stamped all over it, and then cut it all up into pieces, and then made cards. And it was a technique that I had picked up at from another demo, and so I've just gone crazy with it, and so I've just loved doing all sorts of things. All sorts of things with it. I've got my iPad here, I've got my camera here, and my desktop. So I apologize, it's a little wobbly when I get into doing things because I have to figure out how to make the desktop a little more stable because it's sitting on top of a box right now. I need to do something. I need to put it on an arm or something so it's not on the actual table that I'm working on, because right now that's where it's sitting. So by being on the actual table, when I move anything, it will move the camera, so you'll see it moving around. But anyway, so this card I made with our new pastels, and we have. I'm going to turn the camera down now so you can. I can show you these things instead of having to do it the other way. So anyway, these are our new pastel assortment, if you haven't seen them already. They're really cool, and so I decided I needed to use them. So I broke one. I dropped it and broke it, but it doesn't matter. It still works. So I tried using them a couple different ways. I tried using it with the little pieces of sponge cheese. And I was doing a large area, and it works. But I was a little impatient with that.
And since I was covering a large area, I decided that I would improvise and do something else.
But anyway, so here's the card. And so you don't need to put anything over it. It doesn't come off by fakers, which I was worried that it would. But it doesn't. And so for tonight, I decided that I would use. Gosh, I slipped my mind. Anyway, I'll show you. Instead of just hand stamping it the way I was doing this. So I cut it, I did a whole sheet of paper, and then I cut it all up after I colored it. So, okay, so that's kind of how it works. So the pastels look really cool. To save a little bit of time, I went ahead and stamped this whole page. Yeah. It's kind of cool, isn't it? So if you want to fill in the extra little space here, you could take, which is kind of cool if you do, but I elected not to because I'll show you why. But if you want to, you can, stamp something else in here. If this particular stamp set, the Butterfly Brilliance that we're doing, this particular stamp set doesn't have sentiments, and it doesn't have any other thing. It's just this one big, huge stamp. So you could go ahead and cut it up if you wanted to. I'm not brave enough to do that. So anyway, so I thought in the interest of time I would do this, but I wanted to show you first how I actually did it. So I used the Stamparatus, which is what I was trying to come up with. But for the purpose of doing this, I thought, well, it is kind of nice to have a Stamparatus for things like this. But you kind of have to move it around a little bit. So I'm going to go, this is another position, but I'm going to move it, pull it up and start over so you can see what I'm doing. Okay, so I chose to use the Very Vanilla because I like the way the Very Vanilla looks. There's something on top of this. Anyway, I like the way that it looks. So I put, when I first did it, I want to see where I want this to go. Okay, so I want my stamp to get as close to the edge. You'll see that. I want it as close as I can get it, and over here you'll see that it's kind of off there because I really didn't want, for this particular project, I didn't want it to be that way. So what I do is I put my paper where I want it to be, where I kind of want it to go, okay? And then put it like this. Let's see, that's not gonna, I don't know, that's good. Yeah, it'll work that way, I think. Okay, so I put it here. Okay, so now my magnets, I'm gonna put my magnets on here. My magnets will hold this paper because I don't know about you, but I lift this off. Sometimes when you put the sheet over, it lift it off. Sometimes it moves your paper. Been there, done that. That's why I'm talking about it. Okay, so then I use the Memento Tuxedo Black. And try not to. I'm gonna try. Here's the other reason why I did this with the Stamparatus is because it's a huge stamp. Sometimes, do you guys ever do that? I sometimes do this. Make sure, especially all these detail boats. If you don't get the color all the way across, then you could redo it, which is kind of cool. Okay, so this down. And so I also think I need to put some more ink on my Memento pad. I did that the other day, but I think I need to add more. You can see it's a little lighter over here, so I'm going to do it again because I can, and you can too if you use your Stamparatus, because it will enable you to do it. Okay. So that's that. So I'm going to show you the head. Turn it around and do it this way. Okay.
is pull it out a little bit. And then put my magnets back. So I was basically going one edge there. Okay. I'm really not going to do the whole thing. I'm just going to show you the next part where we have to change the butterfly around a little bit. Yeah, I didn't think I did this right, but play with it and you'll see. Okay, a little bit more. Okay. And you know everything on video is gotta work or not gonna work. Okay. So now I'm going to wipe this off so I don't get black ink all over me. Yeah, so you don't always get it. Or about you, but I'm always getting messy. Okay, so there's that. And then I'm going to pull this off and change it around so that it's like this. I did it a little differently last time, which is why it's not quite the way I want to do it. So when I did it last time, I did it like this, like this, like this, and like this. See? So you just have to play with it. What's the best way to do it? So I did it like this, and so when I did it this other way, so that's what you need to do. I'm not going to show you again. So like this, and then on this side, this, this. So when you put it here, then you just turn your paper around and do it there. And then you change the direction of it. Then all you have to do is do this and then turn your paper around and do that. Okay, so we're going to get to it with this. I'm going to put this over here for now. But anyway, that's the basic. You can still use this, but it wouldn't look right inside. Didn't do it the way I wanted to. So I'm going to put that aside in the interest of time. And I'm going to move this out of the way right now. We'll come back to it. Okay. So here's what. Oops, don't you go together. Here's how I use these. Okay, so you just pick a color. Okay, so I'm going to pick the blue. And on the back, for your paper, on the back of it, it tells you, I don't know about you, but I always look on my papers to see what colors. So this one is Coastal Cabana, Daffodil Delight, Gorgeous Grape, Granny Apple Green, Mango Melody, Mossy Meadow, Night of Navy, and Poppy Parade. So I look at these, and these are the colors of paper that I use. It doesn't have very vanilla, but I like the way it looks. Okay, so what I did on my other one is I just took this and kind of added some color here, and then over here, and then I did some other blue. I did here, and here, here, and then I did purple. You turn it, did purple down here. Just get the mess of it. I did it the other way first, and I decided that I would never get anything done if I spent all that time doing that. So I just decided I would try this, and it works for me. I don't know. You could individually use the little things. I did it like this, randomly coloring different ones. And they're kind of cool. Wait till you see what happens when I start rubbing it in a second. Makes a mess, but crafting is messy, is what I say. Okay, so we're gonna do a little. Red goes a long way, so I didn't want to put too much of it on here. Let's see, is there anything else I didn't do? I'll do this great big one. Yes, these are not true butterfly colors, but you know.
It's gonna be my card. So I'm doing a
It's gonna be
really pretty color.
really
Okay,
pretty.
so
colors.
then I just
okay,
take,
so then I just
I
take
just took
I just took the little cheesy things,
and
and I just kind of went over and kind of rubbed it around on all this pastel stuff.
You can
You can rub it and rub it and rub it. You could change your little pieces if you want. If you're worried about the way that it does it, but here I just kind of rub it in. You can see that it kind of they kind of blend, and you can use your blending brushes. Again, you can, you know, this is just my experimenting with the product, and so I kind of like the way like the way it looks. And then when you rub it, okay, I'll take some of this off. Trash can, and it's messy, so if you like to wear gloves or something, you can. But see how it's kind of all kind of blending together. And it's, you know, it's just a dry sponge. It's not. I'm not giving it any water or anything. It's just a completely dry sponge. Okay, let's see. I still got some areas over here that aren't done. And if you want it to be darker, or want to retouch it, like if you didn't get enough color, like I think I might add a little more purple here because this purple didn't quite come out the way that I wanted it to, so I'm going to go back and put a little more purple on that one. And do that a little bit darker. See, once you get the color on, it doesn't really, this one, I don't know. Oh, there we go. If you rub it harder, it comes off. Okay, let's see. I think I want a little more purple on this one too. Purple's my favorite color. A little more purple here. And then I just do like a circular motion. But you can see that the color pretty much goes where it goes, right? Doesn't really, it doesn't really matter if I use a different color sponge or not. It's a little more red here because I kind of like the way that looks. And it kind of looks good with the other colors. And so by rubbing it, it just kind of goes. I don't know if you guys could get this, how beautiful and vibrant it is, but it's, oh my goodness, it's just so, it's soft, but it, you know, it just, I don't know, I love it. I love the way it looks. And maybe it'll look something, maybe it won't do as well if you don't use butterflies. I don't know. I haven't tried out anything except for the butterflies because I really like the way the butterflies look on it. A little bit more over here. I kind of like the randomness of it, you know? Too. I know everybody's doing that alcohol technique, which is kind of random too. So you could play with it, add more color if you want. But you can see the memento is really good with this. It just, you know, the color of the butterfly just continues to come through it all. So let's see, let me do this. I love it. I'm going to show you again how I cut this up. Okay, like I did last week. Okay, to put this over here. I'm going to wipe this off. I'm going to get rid of, this piece right here because it's messy. Okay. Now, I'm going to put this back in the little box. So these, if you don't have these yet, soft pastel, put them on your list because they're fun. And goodness, I just think they're going to be lots of things you're going to find to do with them. Okay, so getting back to this. So you might recall last week I did these little templates, and Connie Stewart, I watched one of Connie's videos. I love watching her videos. She has so many cool ideas, and she inspires me to do so many different things. Well, anyway, watching this video, I got inspired So these are the templates. So these are the stamped cardstock. So the stamped cardstock is
the
the
butterfly.
butterfly.
Okay, so
Okay,
we
so we
stamped
stamped it and everything. So that's what this is. And so we take that, and then we take our 8.5 by 11 piece of paper. I'm going to bring my cutter over, and we're going to cut that so that we end up with 4 2.5 by 4 inches and 4 2 by 5 3/8 inches, and that's in an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper. So you're going to get 8 cards out of one sheet. Okay, so it's cool. It's awesome. I've made so many cards this week. Okay, so that's Monty trying to get out of here. I'm going to set this aside. I want to bring my cutter up here just so you can see. So the first thing you do cutting it out is you cut this piece 8.5 by 11 and 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. So we know this is 11 inches, so 5 1/2 would be this way, right? So everything is cut random. So you got to see that when I start cutting this, you folks that really want a whole butterfly on your card, it's not going to work because you can see that you cut things off. Okay, so then we have to cut it into 4 1/4, right? So we did 5 1/2. So we're going to do 2 4 1/4. So we go here, we look at this, and we say, okay, 4 1/4. So when you look at it that way, that's not bad, right? Okay, so then let's look at. Make sure this one should be 4 1/4. Yep. Okay, so that's those two. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and do these two before you go into shock. Okay, so this is 5 1/2, right? So we're gonna do 4 1/4 here. And kind of like the way that I put the stamps, put them on to stamp them. That kind of makes it work that way. Okay, so now we have 4 of those. Okay, so then I say cut 2 of those into 4 that are 2.5 by 4. Okay, so now let's see. This one is 4 1/4 right now. So it's got a little bit of blank space over here. So I'm going to take this over and do 4 1/4 this way, and I'm going to cut this part off, which is 4 1/4. Oh, it says cut 2 into 4, 2.5 by 4. Okay, sorry, not 4 1/4, 4. Okay, so I'm cutting this part off here on this side because you see it's pretty much okay. I didn't mess up with anything. Okay, so then it says 2.5 by 4. So I've done that. So now I'm going to go and see what 2.5 is going to be. 2.5 like this is going to cut the butterfly in half, and then 2.5 like this. Still going to be the same, pretty much, right? Yep, 2.5. Let's see what this one is. 2.5. Okay. So there's that. Okay, so we have these two. So these don't look. This would be fun on a card, right? But look at the colors. It's the colors so vibrant. I love it. Okay, so then I need to do this to another one. So this is 4 1/4 right now. So I'll make it down to 4. So I'm gonna be cutting off a little bit of this big one's wing, but I don't think it's going to really matter that much. Okay, so then I'm going to cut that into 2.5. 2.5. I've done this enough times to tell you that it's really kind of cool. It really does it. You'd be surprised. And if something doesn't really look perfect, it's okay. You don't have to use that one, or you could use it for something else. Whatever. Use it for a tag or something like that. Okay, so that's those two. And so then this one, so we're going to move down here now. So we have 4 of those. So cut 2 into 4, which is 2 inches by 5 3/8. Okay, so 5 and 1, 2, 3/8 is right here. Pretty close there. Okay, 5 3/8. And then we cut it into 2 inches. Okay, so let's look here and see what this one is. 2 inches. That. So it's 2 inches. 2 inches. That's kind of cool looking. And then this one is 2 inches. And I guess you could, if you really wanted to, you could just change your other pieces of paper and keep them big if you wanted to, but you know, they look kind of cool.
And
Would you see the rest of it? It'll be nice. Okay, so this one is the last one. So we'll do 5 3/8. 1, 2, 5 3/8. I'm gonna cut that right there. And then we're going to do 2 inches. So let's see, 2 inches. Or 2 inches. Good, like that. Okay. You know why I did that? Because this one has extra over here, so we've got to cut that off. 2 inches. Works. So it's kind of random, but it kind of works, doesn't it? Okay, so in the interest of time, I went ahead and did a couple other things. But I'm going to now show you. So I set these aside for half a second. These are the templates, so you have these, and if you don't have the dimensions for them, they're in last week's video, okay? All right, so let's see. I cut two card bases. Okay, so it's 11 inches, right, by 4 1/4. So you take it on the long side, and you do 4 1/4, and you cut it down like that. Okay, and then you score it at 5 1/2 if you haven't made this size of card before. Kind of cool. This is one of my favorite ones to do at the moment. I like options, and we have so many options. Someone said, well, you know, stand-up cards are not normal size cards. Well, they're not normal looking cards either, so cool. Okay, so what I did, you've been watching my videos for a while, you know that I love to do Versamark. I love Versamark. It's just an easy way to add a little excitement to a card. And you can see on this card here that I pre-stamped it in Versamark, and that's how you get this little shadow. And I do it on the whole card because it's just easier for me. You don't have to. It's easier for me, and then I'm not limited on how I design the card afterwards. So I just do it on there. You don't have to. You can do it however you want. I'm gonna, for the interest, I'm gonna go ahead and do it here. Where is it? Okay, I'm gonna turn it around because I'm a right-handed person. And I'm only doing 2 cards because I don't want to just repeat everything that I've shown you last week. Okay, so this is gonna go here. Make sure I got the one I want. Okay. Go here. It's not here. Like this. This. Where's my other one? Oh, here. I may have to move it, but I'm just putting it there for the moment. And you know, you could cut these up. I just can't bring myself to do it yet. Okay, so I'm going to move this one. Pray that it works okay. Okay. Okay, so that's how I did it. And then you just take the Versamark just like I did the black ink. Okay, so. And you know, if you don't want to do the whole card, you don't have to, and you can play with it. I personally just do it. And then I just got that on. I love the effect of the Versamark because you know at first, you look at that, see at first, you know, it gets darker. Is that cool? I just love it. Okay, I'm going to do one more just because. So I basically just bring it out one little piece. I don't really want you to do that, but that's okay. Okay, then just take the Versamark, and I use Versamark so often. It's like my signature. I love the Versamark. I love the effect that it does, and it just never gets old to me. It just never gets old. I just love the way that it. Oh gosh, he knocked something over. Lottie. Okay.
So there's that one.
That
And I could fix
fix
this
this
one
again,
again,
but
but
I'm
I'm
not
not
going
going
to because it's got to be covered up.
Okay,
Okay,
so
so I'm going to set this aside. Then I will find my little pieces. So I decided to use, with the boss, this is Bossy Battle. So I decided to use, with this color, I decided to use the daffodil. Okay, so I've got enough to do 4 cards, but I'm only going to do 2. I don't do 1 of each wide so you could see it. Monty. He's upset about something. So then you could choose your colors if you want. Like with this one, I think I might do, let's see. This one I might do this. But you can play around with them and decide what you want. So let's layer it on here. Okay, so I'll go ahead and get my stamped seal. Good go. He's knocked something off, and hopefully it's not my expensive new vase that I just got. I will kill him. But there's nothing I can do about it right now because I'm doing a video. Okay, I'm gonna put this on. I'm still getting used to the use of this. Kind of better than, okay. Get on this one. So you could move it around if you want. Isn't it pretty though? I like to do it like right here. And then paste paper towel. When I first started, when I started this technique, I started using the paper towel because I was afraid it was going to come off, but just a little bit comes off. But then I think it must like soak in or dry or something. So see how that is that beautiful? I love it. I just love it. Okay, so then we'll do one of these. Got 4 to choose from. Do this one. I kind of like this one. And then, so this one goes on a sheet like this. Okay, so out here. I just can't get enough. I love the way this technique. I mean, I've used it with like 4 or 5 different sets now, and I tried it with the flamingo, and because the flamingos are so big, I find that it works better with things that are a little bit smaller or kind of random already. But I did it with flamingo, and I only got a few cards out of it because it just didn't look. It didn't look. You know, flamingos are not attractive when you cut their heads off. So it kind of looked like, a murder sheet or something. They were cute, but it just didn't work. That technique didn't work for me. So I have to play around with it a little more. But so you could do it. I like to do it kind of in the middle. You could make so many different ones. You could do it like this. 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 However, just when you think about it, think about what direction you want your card to go in, because you do it this way, which is fine. Your card's going to open this way if you do it this way. But it's kind of fun to do it different ways. And you really don't see the butterflies, but it gives you the, it gives you that effect. So anyway, I hope you've enjoyed it. Again, I'm sorry if everything was kind of moving around, and I'm hoping that this video turns out. But thank you for joining in, and if you didn't get to join in live, I hope you'll watch it in replay and give me some comments and tell me what else you want to see. Okay, I'll see you again next Thursday, and have a great weekend. All right? Good night.